production of live sports broadcasts is one of the biggest industries today, dating back to the first ever broadcast almost 100 years ago, beginning internationally with the Berlin Olympics in 1936 and in America with college baseball in 1939. The thing that's so great about broadcasts is they allow people all over the world to see games wherever they are. Sports are part of the foundation of America, from partaking in activities to listening to the radio to watching along on television. With that comes the need for trained individuals to help bring those broadcasts to people. In this video, we'll look at the impact sportscasts have on people and also take a look at the organization that's priming young men and women for the industry. Chanticleer Sports Network, or abbreviated CSN, is an organization partnered with ESPN to deliver live broadcasts for multiple sports through ESPN+. These sports include men and women's soccer, men and women's basketball, volleyball, women's lacrosse, football, baseball, and softball. The work at CSN is done primarily through Coastal Carolina University students, as well as full-time employees and interns. Every year, CSN puts together over 100 shows, utilizing a variety of technology with many different uses.
Once you put ESPN on the product, like, the expectation is super high. You know, the general fan, they're starting to understand that it's at the very least run by people on campus. Those four letters still carry weight with people, ESPN. So there's a high expectation.
Before the start of any season, series, or game, students and staff work hours and days before setting up various venues to make sure all required parts are up and running before it's time to put on a broadcast. This can range from moving broadcast trailers, running cables, building and testing cameras, running microphones for in-venue audio, and building graphics to tell stories in-game for people to see and hear. Crews are large and days can be long. There are a lot of things that need to be done before a show can ever be on air. Though the roster may be larger, it can be at times harder to get games to work, which makes setups all the more important to attend, so you know that it's serious about the business.
No, it takes an incredible amount of buy-in. If you're actually going to make it and be able to put on good shows, you can't just, and you have students and people who, they do show up and they just kind of work the games, but those aren't the ones that you see by their senior year usually go and get broadcast jobs or even go freelance other places. The kids who are successful, and I'd say myself included, are the ones that, hey, I really love this, and what, not only do I show up on game days, but what are they doing during the week to get ready for broadcasts? What other broadcasts can I look at during the week to get better and take ideas from, and just kind of always looking at how do they do this, why are they doing this. It takes a crazy level of buy-in. A lot of people don't realize that, I mean, yeah, we're here 50, 60 hours a week, and we might put on 3 to 4 shows, which you think 3 or 4 shows isn't a lot, but if you want to do it well and some of the things that we do, there's a lot of prep work that goes into it. You have to load so many different things. You have to come up with your graphics, your storylines, test your equipment thousands of times, figure out after one weekend, kind of regroup what went well, what didn't. So you're always assessing something. Even if you don't have a game that day, there's always something to either look back on and try to fix moving forward, or maybe we really like that. Okay, how can we continue to do this? How can we do it better? You're always assessing your student staff and just kind of thinking about that. Who do we have that we think could step up in other roles? Who do we really want to get more reps on here? It's just, it never stops. It's kind of like an ongoing thing.
During the school year, there could be times where multiple sports are happening at once, which means not everything can be at one place at one time, leading to there being multiple different levels of shows. A teal show, which is larger, requires the most amount of people and is done through the newest trailer. These shows run thanks to underground run cables and fiber boxes run all around the venues, allowing data to run seamlessly without it being all over the place. Other shows are either done in-venue or through the older trailer using home run cables that directly link the camera's feed to the director board or replay machines to produce the show. The most known part of a broadcast is the camera work. During a CSN production, there may be up to as many as 8 manned cameras at one time, and there are also unmanned cameras called PTZs that are controlled through a board. Cameras are the direct line of sight for the production and for the people watching. More times than not at CSN, you start out here before going on to bigger roles such as directing and replay. While cameras may seem like an easy job, there are many rules that go with it, and the crew learning as the day goes on, while also not being there every day like a full-time worker, it can lead to some growing pains since cameras are almost always manned by students. The director and replay operator are almost always stationed next to each other in order to be able to communicate with what is wanting to be shown at any time, with the exception of the occasional second replay stationed off somewhere else. The director uses a switcher board that comes equipped with preset controls to put up take down, and move different aspects of the broadcast around. In short, everything you see on TV comes from the director or producer's choice, but the director is the one that makes it happen. The replay operator uses a 3-play machine to clip together and build replay shots, as well as build packages, rollouts, or play pre-recorded segments to further tell the story of the game being played. A producer oversees the entire show and has a direct line to speak to talent to help them also tell the story beyond what you see. Graphics operators also help tell stories with statistic graphics, player information, and a dashboard to give you in-game notes or potential implications a game may have outside of the one being played. Graphics help people further understand the game they decide to watch as it happens. The importance of audio can also not be overstated. The people on audio are responsible for anything you hear, from commentary to music to subtle things you may not think about, such as being able to hear the crack of a bat or the swoosh of a ball going through the net. They also help build an environment by being able to control the levels of natural sounds picked up by NAT mics to pick up things such as crowd noise. One thing that can get overlooked for how important it is to a broadcast is reporting. Reporters go on air live and deliver stories, also known as hits or beats, for the people watching the broadcast to give them an insight to a myriad of different topics, such as things they learned talking to a coach or a player, or something they found through useful digging. When people think of a day in setup leading to a game as just the physical work of putting things together and testing, reporters have their own work to do, constantly finding and creating interesting storylines to deliver come game day. A good reporter can add a lot to a good broadcast.
I think a lot of people think you're a pretty face that shows up with your new outfit and your makeup and hair done and you're given a script game day and you read off of it. No, all false. We put months into preparing for a season or a show. For me, preparation for a game looks like, a week before, finding players that I want to focus in on, setting up interviews with the players. Then, before those interviews, stalking them basically and finding out all the good tidbits that are outside of someone's batting average or their ERA, because that's what the play-by-play people are going to talk about. So I dig into their stories, I sit down, I interview them, I have a recorder going, then I've got to go home, transcribe the entire interview, because I like to be present in the interview, so I'm not typing, so that I can make sure I'm listening fully to what they're saying. I got to go home for a couple hours, transcribe that, find the best pieces of that, and make them into stories going into game day. Also, phone calls with coaches before the game, because you can't just know Coastal team, you have to know the other team.
Marketing works hand in hand with broadcast to give a complete experience for those in attendance, both virtually and in person. Content created by marketing and content teams can at times give a greater view into something broadcast might want to tell in game, which helps get content more reach, as well as creating better storylines for the broadcast.
Especially what people are talking about internally in a school through marketing and creative, that's going to be more school specific. But then when you can take that to the broadcast level and share that with more people than necessarily the inside school community, I think if they all work together, then you could really tell the stories and share the information about the school you want with the rest of the world who might be clicking through on ESPN Plus, who might not follow us on social media and stuff. But I'd say especially those three departments work very closely together. A lot of people maybe wouldn't realize that, and especially with broadcast departments being a lot of school specific these days, you have a better chance to tell what's going on at your school rather than some random crew just kind of pulling up and really just doing the game. But they work very closely together, those three departments.
Content in social media is great because not only does it get the word out about things not covered by CSN, but also gives a more in-depth look, and at times it can be a preview of what is going on. Both content and broadcast give new eyes to the school with the reach that can extend past expectations. Not only does CSN help get more eyes on the school, it also helps aspiring broadcasters to get the experience they need in the field before they go off into their future careers.
It's about where they go from here. And that's what we do as professors, staff members, all that work with students, is they're supposed to go on and do bigger and better things. It's not just about like, oh, I left Coastal and now I'm on to bigger and better things. No, I'm bringing what Coastal taught me and I'm making this place better. So that's our goal for all our people, even folks that just show up and do their shift, right? We still want them to go on and do great things.